Hey guys, so a lot of good news has been coming out lately out of the CSE headquarters, especially related to the spouse open work permit as well as the PR applications. A lot of people who applied at the beginning of this year has already started receiving their passport requests, and things have actually started getting a lot better than what it was back when I applied for my wife in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. Let me know in the comments below how many of you guys belong to the 2021 timeline and how many of you have received successful results by now, and also how many of you have recently applied for a spouse open work permit or PR and where it's currently at. The processing time for spousal open work permit and PR applications used to be 8 months to 12 months during the time of the pandemic and before that. But now it has significantly reduced to around 3 months, which is a really good news for all of us. And for those who haven't received anything so far, you just need to keep following up with the CIC through phone calls, web forms, as well as GIC notes. And make sure your application is not lagging behind. Apart from this, there's also something that I wanted to talk to you all, and that is the growing concerns of immigration-related frauds happening inside as well as outside Canada. I know frauds related to immigration has been prevalent in the economy for a long time, but now everybody is just impatiently looking to come to Canada by any means. And that is when things have started running out of hands. This issue has been in the system for many years, but lately this type of fraud has significantly increased over the past couple of months, as there has been tons of rejections coming over, especially in the visitor visa category, which, you guessed right, is mostly applied through the fraudulent immigration consultants. Situation have become really hard for those who have no idea how immigration works and unknowingly get ready to pay exorbitant amount of money just to have a glance of this stamp on their passport. Little do they know that the person handling their application is only concerned about making money and doesn't even qualify to deal in immigration in the first place. So this immigration fraud is something that you run into after you have applied for application. But what are those very important things that you need to take care of during the times when you're working on your application? The first and foremost thing to avoid being a victim of fraud is to avoid an immigration consultant in the first place. This is something that I've clearly explained in my earlier videos as well, is that you're not obligated to hire an immigration lawyer to be able to submit your application, whether it's a visitor visa, a work permit, a simple transit visa, a student visa, or the visas that we're discussing in this video, that is spousal visas. And I know there are a lot of people out there who don't really trust their skills when it comes to submitting the application all by yourself, but you need to be aware that there are thousands of videos, millions of articles, and so much more info available on the internet that can teach you everything you need to be able to fully and independently apply for your own application. You know, there are several YouTubers like me as well, whose main agenda of opening up this channel is mainly to help you guys in your application through guidance and updates. Also, there are several forums available online where you simply post your queries and get an answer within minutes. Basically, internet has made 90% of our work easier by making available any information you can think of right on your digital screen. Immigration consultants are not the only source of information that you need to be dependent on. You can solely do the whole process by yourself. And secondly, you get to save yourselves thousands of dollars just by avoiding consultants. But if you're still not left with any other option other than going through a consultant, then make sure to check their credentials and verify if they have been approved by the authorities to operate. Avoid meeting such people at public spaces and make sure they are designated to do what they're advertising. Fraudulent cases are more likely happening at a greater scale outside Canada, especially India, for example. So beware of that. Secondly, for those applicants who unfortunately had to face a rejection due to one of the various reasons, like not enough documentation to support income and assets, proposed length of stay in Canada inconsistent or too long, not valid purpose of stay, and so on. You guys can now right away know the reason of your rejection in the portal itself, because the officials will now be clearly indicating on what grounds your application was rejected. So basically, whenever a file is rejected, you are required to file for a GCMS notes to be able to clearly identify the reasons for rejection. But now, you are no more required to do so. The reason for rejection will be rightly available on your portal where you get the rest of your updates. This eventually saves you money as well as a lot of waiting time that you can instead focus on pre-preparation of your application. Thirdly, I wanted to let you guys know that there has been a significant increase in the rejection rates for the past 2 months, with the highest rejection seen in the month of June. Now, this is really contrary to the month of May, where we were seeing a lot of approvals. Please note, I'm talking about all sorts of visas, not specifically the spousal visas. Now, what is the main reason behind these rejections? The first one is the SOP, also called the Statement of Purpose, which is a very important document considered by the officials when they look at your application. It's basically a 1,000 words essay that you attach with your application, detailing the reasons of your visit in Canada and other related stuff. Now, as you know, Canada is already dealing with the backlog of almost 3 million applications as of now that haven't been closed yet. So the IRCC has mostly started relying on automated systems, or you can call them the artificial intelligence. So what the system does is that they skim through all the applications and kind of filter out the ones that have higher chances of getting approved by a human decision maker at IRCC. And allegedly, the first thing these systems look at is the SOP. So apparently, if your application has no negative or contradictory aspect, but if the AI ends up finding something odd in your SOP, then the chances are it won't reach the desk of the IRCC official for further investigation. Basically, this is how they're getting rid of a lot of applications in bulk. And not just SOP. These AI softwares look at various other aspects of an application before forwarding it over to the IRCC officer. Obviously, when you have almost 3 million applications getting piled up month after month, you're left with no other option than to unload most of it through incapable AI softwares. But what about people who spend endless hours gathering up all the documents and proofs for the application, just to know a couple months after that it will be rejected or returned due to unwarranted reasons? So my only advice to you guys in this scenario will be to double up your focus on your application. Don't leave a single trail of doubt that might lead to a rejection. Make sure all the names and address spellings are correct and match the documents. Make sure the statement of purpose is clearly written in plain language without any grammatical error. Make sure the documents and proofs are properly uploaded in their designated folder and try not mixing it up. And make sure all the forms that it requires signature are properly signed and dated. Basically, don't let anything slip through your hands that might affect you in any way. Alright guys, if you do like this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to check out my other videos as well, where I have covered specific topics related to immigration and how you can bring your loved ones in Canada. And let me know in the comments below how many of you have already applied for a visa for your spouse or your family member and waiting for a decision. I wish you best of luck in your application, and I'll see you again with another interesting topic on Canadian Desi.